In this video, I'm going to show you how I made this country-style porch swing.
For this project, I am going with southern yellow pine. When you think of pine, you might think soft, and that's true of some pine species, but southern yellow is actually very tough and dense. That means it holds nails and screws really well. Let's go ahead and get started.
Now to get started, I have already cut all my material for the first step to length and to width. I do have a cut list if you're interested in speeding up your project that not only comes with the cut list, but also the material shopping list. So what I like to do whenever going off of it is keep my parts together so that I can then pull out the parts needed to start the sub-assemblies, which in my case, I'm gonna be starting with the back. Now on the back, I'm gonna need 2 of these guys. And I'm gonna build these first before adding it to the top and bottom of the back rail. To do that, I'm gonna grab the needed boards, lay them out, and then start pre-drilling. For a pre-drill, I'm gonna be going with a countersink so that the head of the screw has a place to seat inside the wood. Now, if the hole would bother you, a few options. You can either countersink them so that you can plug them afterwards, or you can go with pocket holes. But I feel like pocket holes are much more visible and obtrusive. For this entire project, I'm gonna be using the new exterior wood glue by DAP. They've never had an exterior wood glue before, so I am so excited to be using this. And apply some to my boards here, and then start attaching everything. There is our 2 back assemblies. So now we can clear our work area and attach these to the top and bottom rail that will make up the back. Now what I like to do is I like to mark the edge before separating them. That way I know they're not only in line with one another, but then I can just take my pieces and set them visually right in place. After getting done on the bottom, I'm gonna repeat that on the top. And we have a back, and it's asymmetrical, so no front or back. I'm gonna set the back aside, and now I'm pulling my boards needed to make up the side assemblies. Now for this, they have some curves in it, so I'm actually made a set of templates. If you'd like a set, then they are available on my website. What these templates allow you to do is set them directly on your board, trace them out if you want, cut them at the bandsaw, or what I like to do is carpet tape them down, double-side tape them down to your board, and then use a flush trim bit in the router in order to get your parts looking identical to these templates. Now that I've cut out all of my parts to make up the side assembly, now I'm going to start assembling them. Now this little guy is going to be screwed into here, and he's kind of the only tricky one on this. You can absolutely pocket hole it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to toenail it by just simply starting a pre-drill like this, and then angling it down. Now for everything else on this assembly, I'm gonna be able to go through the face of each board, and what I'm doing is I'm switching my screw lengths in order to make sure that I can go through it. However, you can see that these long screws don't go all the way through if I were to just simply countersink the head a normal amount. So instead, I'm going to counterbore slightly in order to move this screw to where a whole at least an inch of threads are in this meeting board. Now I'm going to repeat on all the other joints until we end up with an assembly that looks like this. Kind of looks like a little miniature chair. With the arms done, I'm gonna move these over to join the back and then get started on the seat. This is what I love about pre-making all of your parts from the cut list, is then you can just very quickly throw it together. And if you're making multiples, same thing, it just goes together so quick and easy. Before assembling this, the end ones are very easy to figure out because they're just flush to the ends. But on the rest of these, I'm gonna grab my set of plans, mark out where these inside ones go, and then start assembling. Now I'm gonna flip this around and repeat. Okay, so we have a bottom. I'm going to 2 sides and the back. Let's join the back to the bottom. No, let's join the sides to the bottom. So I am utilizing the floor because of the workbench is too small, but the important thing is to raise it up because I'm actually matching the curve of these side assemblies to the curve of the seat assembly. So just, if you do move to the floor, just take your time and match up these 2 curves. And then once I stick them in place, I'm going to clamp them together while I secure them. Since I'm not going into the end grain here, I'm just gonna throw in a few screws.
Southern yellow pine is known for being a really strong wood, which is why it's often the choice for key structural parts of building, things like joists, headers, or stair stringers. About 85% of pressure-treated lumber is southern yellow pine because it has a cellular structure that makes it perfect for absorbing treatment and lasting. So what I like to do is I pin the top first, and then the bottom, I'm gonna go ahead and pull in before pinning the bottom.
Now folks, we just have the seat slats, and then we're gonna have a porch swing over here. Perfect. For the seat slats, going in from the side, I have 2 short ones that are gonna fit in between those, the body, the 2 side assemblies. One's gonna go in the front, one's gonna go in the back. The rest of them are cut a little bit longer to go into the middle. Now, I am definitely guilty of just doing things by eye. But if you wanted things perfect, you could use a spacer in order to make sure all of these come out exactly spaced. Now what I like to do is do the front and then back and then just space the rest evenly. Well, that's porch swing. I guess we should hang it up.
Before leaving my shop, I threw a whole bunch of things I thought I might need to hang it up in a deck drawer box. And this way I wouldn't have to make several trips back to my shop. I threw in some chain, some I hooks, some S hooks, and then threw it up in the beam of my porch. I personally like the strong, distinct grain pattern of southern yellow, but I wanted to give it a little bit more pop of color. If you're concerned about sustainability, southern yellow pine is a great choice. Growers plant literally millions of new trees every year.
I tell you this, thank goodness Portico made their units mobile. Makes it easy for me to move it from my garage workshop out to the deck whenever I feel like sitting out here. If you're working in a hot environment, such as outside, on a job site, or in your garage, definitely check out these Portico units.
So if you are in need of a porch swing, then I hope that you feel very inspired and capable of building one yourself based on this video. Don't forget that I do have a set of plans and templates for this one, as well as a completely different style over on my website. I'll leave you a link. And I think that's gonna wrap it up. So I will see you guys on my next project.